My child seems to hold on till the last minute and then they don't have enough time to make it to the toilet. Why can't they recognise this earlier? And sometimes it is obvious to me that they need to go. They might be wriggling around or holding themselves, but they haven't even realised themselves.
Yeah, absolutely. And I find this a lot, especially around that toilet learning age as well, and even a bit older, especially if children are really active or focused on a task that they're completing as well. And that's where we come in as parents and caregivers to help to teach our children what the signs are and what they're feeling in their bodies when they need to go to the toilet. So what you've mentioned there, absolutely, that jiggling, they may start walking on tiptoes, they may be holding themselves as well, are all signs that they are withholding going to the toilet. And that's when I'll be really promoting and encouraging that positive language and the communication, as in, oh, it's time to go to the toilet, let's go together, and teaching your child what those signs are of needing to go.
Are they being naughty or lazy, or do I need to just be tougher on them?
Look, we get asked that question a lot. For the majority of children that have daytime wetting or pill accidents, they're not being naughty at all. It's about helping them and having that positive language around toileting, and I can't emphasise that enough about negative language or negative talk about toileting, how that can really impact on a child. So it's about having that positive communication and that support around that as well.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it is very hard.
Yeah, absolutely. And it can, and once again, I always say to parents too, we can't underestimate the impact that it has not only on the child, but also on the family as well. And it's one of the biggest life events that you're going to achieve with your children as well, to do toilet training. And I like to call it toilet learning, and it's about learning to use the toilet and to really expect those accidents, but be really calm about those as well, and keeping it positive and fun. And what can also help is having a wee bag that the child gets to take with them that may have a special book in it that they can read for toileting, or blowing bubbles. And it's also about making sure that your child's well supported on the toilet. I would always recommend a toilet insert and a step, and making sure they're in the correct toilet position, which would mean that their knees are slightly higher than their hips and their feet are touching that footstool. Because if you or me tried to sit on the toilet without being able to touch the ground, it can be quite scary for them as well.
I liked how you called it toilet learning, because you're right, because we are the teachers, we're teaching the children to do that. Should I make my child clean themselves up when they have soiled or wet themselves?
Yeah, absolutely, to promote and encourage that independence with it. A lot of children will still need our help, and that's absolutely fine. It's also setting the scene around when they have wet or soiled, as in an appropriate place to get changed. My recommendation would be, if you've had a wetting accident or a poo accident, is to go and get changed standing next to the toilet, and making sure that your child's standing up, and really encouraging and praising them for the effort of cleaning up. Absolutely, if you need to help as a parent, that's really fine. Also about setting the scene around flushing the toilet, washing your hands in that toilet area as well, not in the lounge next to the TV or laying down on the floor. It would be my recommendations.
Yeah. I started getting my daughter to start cleaning herself up after she would soil herself. She was only 5, 4 or 5.
Yeah.
And I didn't want it to look like it was a punishment, her having to clean up after herself. So
so being there with her, that real positive praise and reinforcement, and keeping all toilet interactions fun and enjoyable, and that's how children learn. And absolutely not a punishment, and be there to support her as well.
Just letting just letting her know like why we were doing that and why she had to do that as well.
Yeah, and that it's
so
not
she
her
understood.
fault that it's happening either,
That's
and
it.
it's about her body learning and her learning with that as well.
Yeah. My child is scared of going to the toilet. They hate the flushing noise. How can I teach them to go when they're so scared? Or they hate public toilets. My son, I don't even like taking him to public toilets because of the hand dryers. He
Yes.
freaks out.
Yeah, or those flushing urinals that
Yeah.
go off without
Mhm.
even expecting them as well. Once again, it's just that positive communication, even not to expect your child to use the toilet, but to pop into those toilets in unfamiliar environments, even if they're washing their hands or just flushing the toilet. And once again, it's about keeping that communication as positive, because any talk about negativity around toilets that they hear from other people definitely impacts on them. And so that would be my recommendation, just about getting familiar. Once again, like starting school or going somewhere new, as a parent, it's great if you take your child to show them where the toilets are located and that they feel comfortable using them as well, staying with them and making sure that you're using that communication effectively with them.